Hello, welcome to another session of our podcast series. And today I am really excited because today we have someone from the healthcare fraternity. And as I have started my career from medical device industry, from healthcare, my initial days of corporate career I spent mostly with the doctors who were liver transplant surgeons like Dr. Mohammad Rela and different surgeons across the world. And today, when I got this opportunity to spend some time, have a chat with someone who we consider is an institution within himself, who has done something phenomenal that we all Indians and across the world, many people and the medical fraternity is extremely proud of. So we have someone who is a Padma Shri awardee, who has done more than 16,000 open heart surgeries, who has done lung and heart transplants, whom we consider and the medical fraternity and the healthcare fraternity considers as the institution within himself is none other than Dr. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So, sir, welcome to this talk and thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much for
So,
inviting me.
sure, sir. Pleasure is completely ours. So, today in this discussion, we will just more like to understand your journey first, and then we will delve little bit into how you are seeing AI's evolution and contribution in healthcare. And then we would also like to understand from you your two piece or 2 cents of advice for the entrepreneurs who are building such solutions for the medical fraternity. So before we get into all this, if we can understand how Gopal Krishna Gokhale's journey started and how he became Dr. Gopal Krishna Gokhale and how he became the Padma Shri awardee. It's a long journey, but in couple of minutes, if you can give us an overview of how all this happened.
Well, you see, you are talking of technology and artificial intelligence.
Right, sir.
But when I started a few decades back, I
Right.
was born in a small hamlet with 10 houses surrounding a pond of water, no
Right.
electricity, and I used to get up with the sun and go to the sleep with the sun, go to the school in the middle and study in the middle,
Okay.
and used to read in kerosene lamps. That's
Wonderful.
how, when you start of technology, and that's how that time it started. Then, of course, we continued. Education is something which is considered very important in our family by my parents. So, following my brothers and sister, then I continued with education, then got into medical college at Guntur.
Right.
Wanted to become a doctor, got into the medical field, and then wanted to become a surgeon, then wanted to become a cardiac surgeon. That is my ambition from the beginning. That is my goal from the beginning. And on the way, from no technology, then we saw electricity. And when I started till my 7th or 8th class, I have not seen a television those days. We used to have only a radio.
Radio. Yeah.
Radio and kerosene lamps. From that, slowly started seeing the technology, saw the electrical lamp, then looked at the television, then saw the cars. And of course, then another area of interesting is the telephones those days. We used to have a PP call. Some call comes from somewhere, provided you are in a town. Then someone will come and tell you, the neighbors will come, you got a call, come after half an hour, you go there, take the call.
Right.
Then wanted to get a telephone in the 80s. Couldn't get a telephone for almost about 1 year. That too, I got it because I'm a doctor. Doctors can get, they also had a privilege those days to get BSNL phones. And from there, when I went to Australia, that is my first time I went out of the country, the whole world opened up. See what is happening outside the world. So then I saw the mobile telephone. Here we were struggling to get a telephone, then suddenly I didn't know how to use it. What are these pages? What are these mobile phones? That's how the technology has started opening up for me. Today it is amazing to see what is happening in the world. I'm very happy that I could start from almost no technology and going through something where whole world is open and sky is the limit. Imagine, inspire, like what you have written here. Today we can see that so many things can be done and with the help of technology. And there is a long way to go. We understand I have come a long way. I may not see everything, but then I'm sure I will see some more exciting things, and the next generation would probably what they see, I can't even imagine.
Right.
And that is what I believe on technology today, especially with the help of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all this technology we are slowly picking up.
Right.
And so much can be done. So much can be done. I know for
Right.
me, looking back a few decades, I see how primitive things were those days.
Right.
But I'm sure in another 10, 15 years, I would say 10 years back when I speak to Rahul, that time how primitive the technology. Because now, we are galloping.
Right.
We are moving so fast. The technology is coming up. The whole world is going to change. Things are going to get better. Of course, confusion is also going to go up. We should know what to choose, how to use it, things like that. But I'm very excited to see all these developments in the
Right.
world.
Right, sir. So, coming back, even I have done some work in the cardiac area from a technology perspective and all this. So, from my experience, if I can ask, like I worked with Medtronic, then I built a companies who were doing a lot of AI solutions for cardiac 2D echo and those things, and we were trying to build solution to make surgeons' life and doctors' life easier. The time that it takes to build this kind of solutions is immense in the healthcare compared to any other industry,
That's true.
right? 5 years, 10 years, it goes
And
beyond
you
that.
have to verify that.
Right. You have to validate
You,
it
you have
again
to
and
validate.
again.
It's not like 2 plus 4. You
Right.
see, different type of people, different type of diseases, and different spectrum.
With the race, it changes.
With the race, it changes.
With
With the sex,
Hispanic
it
population,
changes.
with Latin population, and
With
Indian
the age,
population.
it changes.
True.
So
True.
many variations are there.
Right.
It's not an easy task.
Correct. So, sir, when any such technology is built or any such entrepreneur is building that technology, the major challenge that we are seeing today, or not just today, I will say even 10 years back or 20 years back, the same challenge was there. The adoption by doctors is a major challenge. So, what do you think is the major reason for it? Because sometimes people say that doctors are scared that their jobs will go away, particularly with AI kind of solutions. But we always debate that it is never the case. But with someone at your stature, you can probably give a more better understanding that what is that prevents doctors to adopt it, or is it something really that the technologists or the entrepreneurs are completely missing out, that they are not able to understand when they are presenting their solutions to doctors?
It's a very challenging question, I have to tell you. But let me tell you this. See, we are first human beings,
Right.
then we are doctors.
Right.
Okay. Now it is possible, like when these computers have come in the banking industry everywhere, people thought they will lose their jobs and all that. Okay. I'm sure some people have lost their jobs.
Absolutely.
But then what is happening is most of the times in our population, if you see 80%, 85% are mediocre people.
Right.
Now many people will get upset if I say that. Just passing or just getting scoring, that is not enough. But they have to actively learn, actively participate in things to make a change in the world. They just want to work either for salary or for part-time, things like that. Now all those guys, they will not find jobs in future, not just in medicine, in any field. In future, only people who are continuing to learn, continuing to excel, continuing to contribute, they are going to be the survivors. Others have to find jobs, which we consider as a low-level jobs. They will be left because the technology will take over those jobs. If suppose I tell you in medical field, if someone has to only enter the data.
Right.
I mean, you don't need a doctor or you don't need a nurse to do that.
Right.
For doing
Absolutely.
that, I'm sure you will connect various things, the monitors.
There are a lot of solutions already in the
all those
market.
solutions. You interconnect them, they will do a much better job, precise job. Instead of doing after 1 hour or 2 hours delay, they do the same time. All those things can be monitored. So those people who work lazily, who are not learning, they will find it difficult to find the jobs in future.
Right.
When it comes to the doctors, I tell you why doctors are not picking up. See, for us especially, all over the world, the medical professions are less, need is more.
Yes.
We are always busy in learning things and practicing. But then, one of the things I learned when I did a business course at IIM Calcutta, after spending a lot of money, I learned only 2 things, not the business things. One of the things is you need to keep at least 1/3 of your time free to imagine, to take things forward, to think of new things, how you can make things better. If you are working like a donkey from morning till evening, every day you see 100 patients. You go and do the things. Where is the time to even relax? We don't have time to even eat food. So what happens? That's why our vision is only this far, not that far.
Yeah.
So one of the problems medical professionals feeling is right now doing things as they are not having enough time to think how we can take this forward. There are only a few leaders who are able to think. Most people are not able to do it.
Right.
And the second thing is, for us, safety margin is less. We are always, it's not like olden days where there is a lot of patient-doctor trust. But today it's not like that. That has come down after the corporatization of the medicine. Everything is money, going around the money. So the belief, you go to a hospital, is this result correct or not? Is this doctor said correct or not? All those things are a lot of trouble these days. So we have to spend more time talking to them, convincing them. And medicine is not like a mathematics, like 4 plus 4 does become. Here, medicine is a subject plus experience counts.
Absolutely.
The same symptoms and signs can be for cancer, or it may be something someone is psychologically stressed out. It may be just an expression of a stress, anxiety, neurosis. To differentiate between the two, a person with experience can do much faster than without doing a lot of investigations. So all these things, we are all under stress, working, and we are answerable. So we are not having enough time to think of what next. When you bring new technology, to adopt it, we need to think. As I said, in medicine, after studying for years and decades, there is so much I don't know. Ifs and buts. Suddenly you bring some technology, I don't have any idea about this technology, artificial intelligence. To adopt immediately, ultimately something happens to the patient, AI is not held responsible.
Yeah.
It's a doctor who is held responsible. So that is the main thing. And the third thing is, I tell you, you need to sell. Some customer comes. You have got hundreds of goods. Can you sell all of them?
No.
What customer needs, you have to sell.
Right.
He comes for a pen. You want to show the best shoes available in the world. This is what President Trump wears. Why don't you try? Would he be interested? He wants a pen, not the president. Shoes. Similarly, the technology-wise, you have to go to the people who are facing these problems, who are thinking of these problems. You talk to them, they will adapt them faster. You go to some doctor whom you know, who is struggling with the regular thing, you want to tell him there is no time for him to look at all these things. So what is happening here is, you need to make doctors as partners. For example, cardiology, cardiac surgery is there.
Right.
You come to people who have been in the field for some time, who have an experience, they know what are the problems we are facing in managing these patients.
Right.
You go to a new doctor, for example, they have a lot of theory. They do not have practice. They think everything is solvable in the world. But when you come to me, I realize there are so many things I cannot help except for talking to the patient and counseling them. So there is a lot of difference between the two. So you need to go to the right people, talk to them, identify the problems which are a priority to them, and then develop them. Otherwise, you come to me, I'm a surgeon. Now I'm working with patient. How to identify this patient developing low blood pressure. By the time I identify it in the ICU, I don't identify. I operate, I'm seeing the OP, some of the junior staff there, they see the patient and they don't monitor, they go around and come and monitor. There may be a lot of delay in monitoring, in identifying a problem that happened some time back.
Right.
Then it comes to me. And then I go there. There's a lot of time delay. And where do we have to identify? Even before it becomes apparent in the ICU, some telltale signs will be there in the blood pressure, urine output, or probably the way the trace is.
Right.
They are there in the monitor. So someone should be able to recognize them, identify them, and then you start working before it happens. Results are excellent. But who has time to identify that? Those people are busy solving the problems. For someone like me, with a lot of experience, some problems come to me, then I can identify what are the problems. You work on that, I work with you. You don't have to convince me. I'm interested.
Right.
I want to try the problem. When things work out, then I tell some other people who trust me. Then once you reach a critical mass of people using this technology, it explodes.
Right.
But reaching this critical mass is difficult. So the important thing is not that you identify a problem, you develop a solution, you ask the doctors to implement. That is difficult. You need to talk to the doctors, different groups of people, and what are the problems you are facing. You spend time with them.
Right.
And in which area you can develop a solution. Work with them. Then your solution is ready, implementation is, that's how it goes. So
Absolutely.
unless you make end users as partners in the whole development of this technology,
Right.
it will not reach a critical mass. It will take a long time. Suppose you develop an excellent solution. People don't use it for 5 years. What happens? It dies. But it is needed. But it did not go to the right person.
Right.
So this is what happens to a lot of developments in any area. There are people who need it, people who develop it, the connection. How do you do it? For example, I tell you, what we are studying today is something which is proposed about 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Now, ML should become part of the medical field so that we understand there's something that can be done. I don't want to go deep into that, but there's something like that can happen. For me to know about this terminology, well, you're all technology people are talking about it for 15 years. I started 1 year back.
Right.
Now there is so much lag. So this should become part and parcel of education, either from the college days, so that imagination is fired by people. Everyone is ready to find solutions. Today, if you want to take the success rate, we have been doing cardiac surgery. Thousands of surgeries have done. Identified hundreds and thousands of problems we have seen. There are some patients who would have survived with the present technology had I operated them now than 10 years back.
Right.
Same thing will happen 10 years down the lane. Some of those probably I won't operate 10 years down the lane because new technology comes and tells me that these people will die. No use. Or probably even if the risk is high, you operate. This is where this information you gather, streamline it, it gives us some idea about what is happening.
Right.
One of the things I tell you is, I have operated so many patients, I have operated so many problems.
Right.
10 years back, I have faced a problem, a difficult problem, and I have not seen it for the next 9 years. We struggled, did something, and patients survived. Today, same problem comes. I don't remember what we have done.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Which hospital,
that is
who
true.
maintains the charts? I mean, human memory is so limited. So, in spite of that, we are all doing wonderful work. So, you want to take a success rate from 90 to 95, 95 to 97, to 98, 99. Unless we get this technology into our armamentarium, we will not reach it.
Absolutely.
We will not reach it.
Agreed.
So, for the sake of people, we have to adapt it. But how fast we adapt it depends on the organization we work, depends on the individual we work, depends on the people who are developing. So I think unless we work together, this will not be adapted. For example, I tell you, even a country like America, patient case sheets, okay, whether OPD or inpatient, they make it a paperless. To enter into the computer is so difficult, people are scared. We oppose. We are now in Apollo, we are trying to organize all OPDs paperless. Okay, electronic medical records, we call it.
Yeah, EMR.
But then you see, we don't know typing. A, B, C, D. You got 100 patients waiting outside. Now what I need to have it? I probably need to have it. You can't change me. You can probably change the next generation who have done MBBS, all those people, because they have got another 40 years to practice. So you want to take, suppose I work on this, 1,000 people will follow me because that Gokhale is doing it. Okay, it's good, we should go. Because, people look at us, seniors,
right.
They look at us.
Absolutely.
So now I need to have what type of technology I need to have? I cannot change, very difficult. I cannot learn typewriting. I learn it, that is a different matter. But most doctors don't know typewriting. What they do? They only write on the paper. Suppose you come out of the technology, what I write goes into the electronic medical records automatically without doing it. Do I have any objection?
No, absolutely.
I have no objection. Your purpose is served. Patient data is recorded. You collect data tomorrow. When I look back, how many people I have seen with this problem, how many people with that problem, what drugs I have given, what doses they have tolerated, all those things. It's easy to see. With paper, I cannot see. If you want me to type, my patients would be crying outside. It is not that I see 5 patients, 6 patients a day. Probably we have physicians will have 100 patients. I'll have on my OPD about 50 patients.
Yeah.
To do all this. So the technology has to be user friendly, understand the need. So when we work like this, so many things come. All the problems cannot be solved in one day. Understand?
Absolutely.
See, as we go along, we make 80 to 81%, 81 to 82, 83, 83. Another 50 years before it reaches about 97, 98%. What we can do. So I think that is where.
But coming there, sir, if I have to ask you, like when you are talking about this much technology adoption and the success, if you can just say, like from your particular field, like cardiac surgery and those areas, what are the latest AI or technology innovation that you have seen that was like gave you that aha moment? Wow, this is something really exciting.
Yeah, see, what is happening is you people are working on them for about 10 years, convert to technology, then bring it to the practice, and then a few of us see that because all this technology is costly, all the hospitals cannot
Afford, yeah.
So you invent 100 which are useful for me, I get to see only 1 or 2.
True.
So, but what I have seen, for example, Da Vinci robotic systems we have for doing surgery.
Yeah, remote surgeries.
This is the latest thing that is happening, but this Da Vinci robot is something, see, where we can see magnified about 28 times. We can take more precise stitches. Surgery is dependent on the surgeon.
It's a skill.
It is a skill. It is a skill.
Yeah.
But then a senior surgeon has a better skill and junior skill. But you need to cut down the gap.
Right.
Because even after 20 years, if a 15 years old surgeon, practicing surgeon does a better job than a 5-year practice surgeon, there is something wrong in the development of technology. We need to cut down this gap. All this is possible with technology. For example, when I talk about Da Vinci, with the technology, how we can go into the nook and corner of inside the chest, inside the abdomen, where we used to struggle to see those things, and how it guides us in doing things.
And this has been used in the battlefields also.
You probably heard it. The development of broadband, all those things. People are, for example, there is an expert. The future is like this. There's an expert in America who has done, say, certain type of cases, about 50 cases. I have done only 1 case. And in this situation, rare things, it is of me trying, I can be there, whereas that surgeon is operating on my patient with me there, and I'm helping him, I'm learning him, patient getting the best from all over the world. This has happened. How is it possible? This is the technology. When that machine came, Da Vinci initially came for cardiac surgery about 15 years back. We are accustomed to opening the chest, looking at the heart inside through this much big incision and everything. We said, no, looking at through holes and then operating on heart, patient will die. How will we safeguard the patient? We are not going to touch it.
Right.
Then it went into the other departments, gynec, urology, oncology, all those, where the safety margin is higher. Even if they cut something, they have time to open and then do it. They learned it. Now we realize the chances to do those mistakes are very low. Now we are adopting a technology which came to us 15 years back. But now we are trying. It will take another 10, 15 years. But that will develop further. Without finger thing, with the technology, we know how much pressure to put, how to tie things, how to cut things, how to hold things. This will guide us.
Yeah. And also Da Vinci, when it was introduced, it was used in battlefields and those things, remotely doing the surgeries.
Same thing, is it? Like internet was
for
the war. From the war in America. Then it has come to the public.
Right.
Then when it came, that is in 80, I tell you, in not so far off. It is in 95, I went to States from Australia for training in cardiac surgery.
Okay.
That is the time I bought a first compact computer, desktop. Look from the top, bottom side, how to switch it on, what to do with it, how to use it, how to take the help of people. Then I don't know how to use it. It took me months to
learn it,
to type one meaningful letter on that. Yeah, other than A, B, C, D, I don't know how to erase it, how to go back, how to save it, all those things, technology. Today we have become comfortable.
Yeah.
So it takes time, long time. So the technology is going to pay. So one of the problems that troubles me is, in medical field, is disparity among the various doctors in identifying and treating it. People have the same type of problems. People want the same solution. But when we different doctors look at it differently and we have a different latent period to do things, with a different experience, we try too many things. I miss certain things which I experience that doctor picks up.
Mm-hmm.
And I operate some case which other person doesn't want to operate. Some I refuse, other person operate. It is because of problems in decision and judgment. Because none of us can have great judgment. You know what? For ordinary human beings said, how do you make good judgments? With experience. How do you get experience? With bad judgments. I mean, is it something which we are all prepared to take it when it comes to health?
No.
We are not prepared. We are not prepared to do it. But what to do? As of now, people go to whoever is available to them. For example, doing a cardiac surgery in a 3-tier town, in Hyderabad, in a 2-tier town, in Cleveland Clinic in America, lot of differences are there. Why should there be a difference? If same bypass surgery if you do anywhere, why can't we give same type
quality
of care? Procedure is same, patient need is correct. You have done it. Why can't you give care? That is because of varying experience of people.
Right.
Now, do you have to 100 case experience I get in 6 months? Someone will take 6 years. Now you learn the same thing in 6 years, you forget a lot of things, your sharpness goes away. How do we cut down this learning issues and then the time lag to become reasonably good? This is where technology helps. Suppose I have a monitor that monitors the patient and that say identifies things early, then gives a probable, this is a problem, these are probable issues, the probably we may have to manage some idea it gives, then even a doctor who is in average can look into this, learn things faster, implement, or call someone who is a senior much before complication happens. This is where AI is going to pick up things much faster, identify disease. I mean, diagnosis is not easy. Even today, we have a lot of people who go all around, miss the diagnosis. Someone with a heart problem goes to a lung specialist. Now, what lung specialist can do? He can only think of a lung. Some patient with a lung problem comes to me. Doc, I have a pain here. I'm having breathing difficulty. I'm a heart specialist. So I think first only heart. I do investigation spending about 50,000 rupees for this heart. And ultimately, heart is normal. Then I sent to a pulmonologist. Okay, he takes one chest x-ray. He says, no, this is a lung problem. And he treats him with about 5,000 rupees medicines. This is where when a patient comes and we feed the data in, it gives us some guidances. Because as a specialist, I forgot a lot of other things. I'm good in this, but forgot a lot of basic things. Today, the world of specialization. But who is going to take care of the base? In America, you can't practice with only undergraduate medical degree. You have to do a specialty. In India, so far, MBBS was useful till about 10 years back. They used to do all surgeries, all type of things they used to do. With the specialization, now MBBS people, except for a few people, cannot really do much with existing training. They have to get into the specialty to do it. When they get into the specialty, you know only that specialty.
Don't know about other areas.
Specialty. Now, poor patient, he has some problem, and then someone need to coordinate. And then each place training is so different.
Yeah.
I become a surgeon in Vellore, I become a surgeon in Usmania, I become a surgeon in Cleveland Clinic, I become a surgeon in Alani Institute. The product is different with varying training. The nurses, various people training. We have to cut down the gap of learning.
That's where technology plays the major role.
That is where technology. Today I tell, why do you need to have all these medical colleges, so many teachers? You go to the patients, you see the patient. But theoretical part, why should you identify good teachers? You have Zoom classes today. You assess them more objectively than subjectively, and the teaching is standardized. Even someone in the periphery medical college, where they would not get good teachers because
Right.
no one had to go to that God forsaken place. They wouldn't get the best teachers, but the student, good student, they deserve good teaching. This is how the technology has to bring the teaching, cutting down the learning time, bridging the gap between a so-called senior and junior, increasing the standards of treatment, standard of diagnosis.
Yeah.
For example, we do echocardiogram. You mentioned about echocardiogram. It is so important in a cardiac patient.
Right.
Today, when we do echocardiogram for same patient in the same hospital, 3 people do, you will find differences among those 3. Sometimes, especially normal is okay, but if it's an abnormal, someone is going to the surgery, it makes hell of a difference. Sometimes I have to go to the echo department, stand next to that, identify what I want. And today, the role of AI, automation, there's so many smaller things. It can identify better, give better report.
Yeah.
But it's up to me
What to take
to
and
recognize what is important, what is important, do it. So the technology cannot be a master, but can be a good partner.
enabler, basically.
Yeah, enabler in technology. So we know that you take an X-ray, radiology, for example, CT scan. Senior doctor can pick up some of the things, junior doctor can miss them.
Right.
That can be a life-threatening for a patient. So this is where I think certain areas like pathology, radiology, and dermatology, some of the areas is going to come up very high. Whereas the areas like cardiology, cardiac surgery, for a diagnosis, after discharge, patient goes home. We don't know what happens to the patient. How much monitoring we have, hardly we have remote monitoring, what is happening to the heartbeat, what is happening to the blood pressure, what is happening to oxygen saturation, and sometimes we do major surgeries. Operation is successful, patient goes home and dies in day 2 or day 3. People do not die most of the time just like that. Something happens before, which is not identified in time to treat. Most of the times, you end up in death. If we have a remote technology that can identify these people,
that helps. Yeah, absolutely.
and then tell the hospital or people, and then you go to the hospital early.
Early diagnosis is very important.
All those things.
Yeah.
See, there's a huge scope. Today, I find what we are practicing 15, 20 years down the lane, I will look back and I can tell you, I will say what a primitive medicine we have practiced. But today, this is the best.
Right.
Today, I will not say this is the best that is available. We are doing our best, safeguard. But with the help of technology, we can make it much more better. Anyone in the nook and corner of the country, they should get the same health care as someone gets in Hyderabad.
So basically, sir, what I can get as a takeaway from these thoughts is that access is definitely can be improved through technology. Second is the training of physicians and
nurses,
bridging the gap.
Medical
medical fraternity, medical professionals.
You can cut it down.
Yeah.
Instead of training for 10 years, in 2 years, there is 75% standard.
Absolutely. No, this is something even I can relate to it because a couple of years back, I was building a telemedicine company. And that point of time, we also were facing the same challenge that it was not commercially viable for us to get like someone with 15, 20 years experience for an online consultation. We are bringing like 1-2 years experience guys. But then the problem was that his diagnosis and the other person's diagnosis, there's a huge difference. So then we started building something called like a physician helping system where like we were giving questions, guidelines, like what questions to ask. If it gives this symptoms, what is the next question, how you do the diagnosis, so that the doctor is to the extent correct compared to a senior experienced doctor. That is like
experience makes a difference. That is
huge difference. Yeah.
See, I tell you, a son can never be as smart as a father in some of the situations.
Absolutely.
Because the father has seen more of the world, has learnt it. Just because you have become a scientist, you have got a PhD, you got a Bharata Ratna, doesn't mean that you can excel our father in some of the areas of experiences. So like that, the experience counts, but the gap can be reduced.
Yeah.
The gap can be reduced.
To the best possible extent.
To the best possible extent. So I think, you see, as you said, access can be improved, training can be improved, diagnosis can be improved, post-operative management can be improved. In surgery, for example, when I'm doing, I see CT scans, MRI, etc.
Yeah.
I know how to go through this way. But I want to go to a particular site on the heart. Whether I go through second space, third space, or fourth space is always a confusion for us.
Okay.
Because in the films it looks close to third space. Sometimes we find it is far away. The other space would be better. You can't cut the bone. This is where you develop a hologram, superimpose on that. You can see the heart structures inside through the chest wall. From this, you develop AI-based technology. I know in which angle if I go, I will reach that place better. Which space I go, which angle I go. I make an incision smaller. I can reach the precise spot. So this is where I think technology.
Basically, the 3D visualization technology is what we see.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a wonderful example, sir. So coming back to the fact that now we spoke about doctors' adoption, we spoke about also some exciting cases like Da Vinci and things you mentioned. But in terms of ethics, when technology and AI comes, doctors and medical fraternity is area which is always under a lot of pressure for ethical considerations. And when these kind of technology things are coming, that is increasing the burden of ethics on the medical fraternity by multifold. So how you look at it, and what is your 2 cents on this thing?
Yeah, I said definitely, because suddenly you cannot jump from nothing to a high technology, even if you bring it. You have to slowly adapt it.
Absolutely.
Similarly, as you go through these, we identify problems, we solve the problems, we identify new problems. We get it. For example, America, there is a HIPAA. For example,
GDPR,
for all the patient data, how confidential they have come out with it. Is it the end of the world? It's not the end of the world. As they keep going through it, they'll find things, and they'll. Similarly, this patient data confidentiality is a big problem for us, especially when you are giving this to a. Let us say you are collecting the data.
Yeah.
Now you are going through the data, you are organizing it, you are coming out with something like this. Then suddenly you find something is managed wrongly. Because with this technology you are running it wrong, but when we are managing, we don't know about it. And how does the patient family take it?
Yeah.
And then suppose the patient has got some problem. For example, HIV, today, retroviral. These are things, these tests you cannot even do without taking the permission.
Okay.
Suppose it is only between the patient and the doctor. Suppose this data goes out. And even though many people today realize that it's not a taboo, things can happen for various reasons. We are all human beings. But then the social stigma, people develop it. People may commit a suicide. Who is taking the responsibility for it?
Yeah.
So patient data is always a problem. We are collecting it, you go to the cloud. Today, what happened? You develop all these Microsoft, one of the best companies in the world, on that, the flights work, hospitals work, all that. What happened about 2-3 months back? I was in States that time. Something happened in that. Someone hacked it. The flights got cancelled. Banks got closed. Financial transactions got closed. I mean, the whole world comes to a grinding halt. You have money in your bank, you can't take it out. You need urgently go to the hospital. Hospital wants money for treatment. You can't give the money. Where do you stand? So the technology definitely is like a two-edged sword, and as you go along, there are many ethical considerations will come. But then I understand that when we talk about overall human prosperity, health, growth, making this world better, we'll come out with these solutions, we'll work on that, get better. Right now, yes, there are a lot of considerations. For example, a computer tells me that probably should give this drug. And in my experience, I think this may be better. How do you know I am correct or it is correct? End of the day, if something happens to the patient, there's nothing you can do retrospectively. Should I take a decision? Will the patient family accept it? They come for a doctor, human being who talks. They don't come to a computer. Right today, all these AI people, software people, younger generation who are aggressive, who talk a lot of things about the existing world or people or this where doctor has done that. Tell them to go to a computer, take treatment based on the computer advice, get surgery done based on that. Would anyone do that?
No.
No one do that, because still who has to be held responsible? Who is accountable? Who has
Doctors.
to take the total responsibility? Will it ever be as nice to the people? No, patients do not come only for treatment. You need to talk to them. That human empathy has to be there. All these things, without that, can medicine change? For example, is it like booking a ticket on makemytrip.com, taking treatment? So there are many things, but I'm sure they'll get solved. Where there is a problem, there is a solution. There's a dictum I strongly believe. Only thing is, we have to work on them together. Medical
Absolutely.
fraternity has to work, government has to work, and each one have got their own interest. We are human beings.
Right. Yeah.
Each one have got their own interest. And different companies come. It is not that the AI what you are developing is centralized and that it works for all doctors. One company comes one way, their derivations are different. Some other company comes that way, their derivations are different. None of them are 100% right. Which one should I adapt?
Right.
So these are all the things as we go along, things will get sorted out. But let me tell you, world can never be problem free.
Some new problem will come.
With new problems.
Even if you
when
solve
we are
certain problems.
treating cancers, cardiac surgery, COVID has come. What did we do? What did America do? What did Europe do? What did India do? What did Pakistan do? All of us went through the same path.
True, absolutely.
Okay, we all struggled. In all the countries, people died like flies. There were no beds.
Yeah.
For example, prevention. Another area what troubles me is we treat people like statistics. There is no individualized treatment. I tell you, stop smoking for prevention of heart problem. 90-year-old guy is there. He has been smoking from the age of 10 years. His heart is normal. Doc, what are these 80 years it is smoking? What you're taking is science or you're just talking like my grandmother? He will tell. So these are prevention strategies, investigations, what to be applied, they all have to be individual. You and me are different. Your biochemical mechanisms are different from me, not the same. We have to identify them. To prevent heart disease for you, maybe one tablet is enough. Maybe you are more susceptible for smoking than me. Maybe all diabetics don't develop heart problem. You are a diabetic, but you have something that happens. You require some other drug, some specific drug, some specific mechanism which works for you. But what I do, I treat you, him, and everyone the same way. So now the treatments are not individualized. Preventive are not individualized. Investigations are not individualized. We give a paper, you do all these investigations. So for a 40-year-old, I give the same thing for a 60-year-old. Maybe one or two may be different, but what I'm not doing is not individualized.
Correct.
So this is another area where AI
can play a major role.
Treats a human as a human and tells you this is probably better. All 4 members in your family don't have to go through the same series of tests
cycle, yeah.
for prevention.
That's a wonderful takeaway. I think this individualization, personalization, that is where AI can play a major role.
AI is going to play a role.
Right.
It's going to be the practice is going to be totally different in future, I'm sure.
I think we are having extremely insightful discussion, and the learnings that we are getting, I think the viewers will learn a lot. But in the interest of time, sir, if we have to come to an end to this discussion, and if I ask you like 2 cents that you advise to the entrepreneurs who are trying to build something in the field of healthcare, be it pharma, be it medical devices, 2 suggestions that from your side that you would suggest them. I know you have, in the beginning of the discussion, you mentioned that work along with the medical fraternity, that is definitely there. But apart from that, anything which can play a crucial role in their success, or what makes them successful?
Yeah. Let me tell you, the path you have taken is the right path. That you want to add artificial intelligence, machine learning, all those things to improve the care to the people. You are 100% right in your path. But the thing is, you have to work with the medical personnel, organizations, identify the priorities, and so that it gives you more motivation. What you have done, if it's put into the practice, you get motivated and you will do more work, because sky is the limit to do things. But prioritization, working with the people, this is most important. With that, You slowly make a change, you adopt a change, go from this to the next level, to the next level. We can go around and keep working in this area, this wonderful area, because for a human being, nothing is more important than health. If you
True.
are healthy, you can achieve anything in the world you want. You want to become president of America, you can become president of America. You want to go to the moon, you can go to. Today, all those things we are seeing, what type of people choosing the path and what they are doing it. Anything is possible provided you are healthy, and then you can work hard, focus, and work.
Sure, sir. With that, we bring to an end to this discussion. It was wonderful talking to you. Thanks for your time. And I'm sure people who are watching us might have definitely have enjoyed this conversation and follow us more so that we can bring such eminent speakers and guests to this discussion forum. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.